Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
It's time for another daily dose of Dismal Disney. We're going to talk about how Screen Rant is saying things that we've been saying for quite some time now. I guess it's safe to dunk on Pixar. It's safe
Apparently,
to dunk on
you're
Disney.
allowed to say these things now.
So this is coming from Screen Rant. Pixar is not dead, but it's on life support. What went wrong with Disney's $15 billion animation king? Again, Elemental, massive failure at the box office. Still somehow managed to beat The Flash this weekend, though, which is saying something. But yeah, they've definitely taken a hit. And it's interesting. They said one of the catalysts is John Lasseter getting ousted.
Are you allowed to say that now unless you're outside of us?
Remember when we went to bat for John Lasseter? Look, we said we weren't there, obviously, but it was very weird for Disney to get rid of him based on really nebulous allegations, and they kind of let him drift away. He wasn't fired on the spot.
Like if he did something really bad, he would have been like, that's it, you're done right now. But it wasn't the case.
And then everybody was like, boycott Skydance, and then he started poaching Disney animators and directors for Skydance.
Yeah, if he was so bad, why would they go with him?
Right. So I'm like, I think what was going on is they're like, hey, I think you got a bum rap, John. And beyond that, we know that where you go, success eventually follows.
But not yet.
Not
I'm not
yet.
trying to be a jerk, but not
I guess
yet.
luck wasn't as great as, but I think with the amount of talent that he has attracted over to Skydance, that things are going to improve tremendously. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, if you do, you'll get a woohoo.
Woohoo!
Geeky's here today, so you get a woohoo. You don't get woohoos from me. Mine are terrible.
We'll do something else instead.
Yay.
Okay, there you go. You get a yay from Neon.
You get...
You can do better than that, but okay.
Yeah, I need to come up. I need a gimmick. I don't know. Anyway, Pixar is not dead, but it's very badly burnt. Pixar movies were once guaranteed to be hits and succeed at the box office, but the animation studio's projects have lost momentum.
I think they're making poor choices. I think Disney is, relegated. People are used to going to Disney Plus to watch the Pixar movies now because of choices they made during the pandemic.
Yes.
I think they got rid of Lasseter, which was a colossally bad idea.
That was a horrible idea.
And the people they put in charge want to tell their stories their way, and there's a reason why they weren't in charge until Lasseter got ousted.
I feel the same way about John Lasseter that I feel about Justin Roiland, where, yeah, there may have been some other reasons why people wanted him gone. But I think it was blown way out of proportion, and he basically got caught up in the Me Too. Because everybody knew John Lasseter hugged people. I mean, this has been going on for ages, and he got a little, kind of drunk uncle and whatever. But there were never allegations of him being like a sexual assault or anything like that. And it was just like somebody new came into the situation. They're like, yeah, John makes me uncomfortable. Fire him. Fire him after how many years? And you can definitely see the difference.
Yeah, I think that's part of. I think, and I'm going to say it, and it's probably going to get us in trouble. I fucking don't care. I think a lot of it is that they're really shoving agenda in the new movies. Like, I mean, you don't need to, or you don't have to make a big deal about it. And what they do is they make a big deal about it before it even comes out. Like, look what we're doing. And by the time it comes out, people are just like, I don't understand why, or it's something that's so minor they could take it out anyway, and it's just dumb. No one wants their kids. They're going to leave the theater. Disney animation, same thing. Yeah, it's not just Pixar.
Yeah, and I have to wonder, did John maybe push back on that? Because look who else they got rid of. They got rid of their chief diversity officer.
Yeah, now because everything's failing. I don't know if he did or not. I think that he put his hand on the knee of the wrong person who had too much power, and out the door he went. And then she didn't even do it. She left too. She didn't even do the voice actor she was going to do.
Was it worth it?
Right.
Yeah, was it worth it? You have to ask yourself.
I think it's a storm of a lot of bad decisions. I think that was one of the big ones. But there's been a lot of bad decisions and bad choices in leadership, and here we are.
Make good choices, Disney. Make good choices.
That's right.
So they said there's still time for Pixar to recover both financially and creatively, but the window of opportunity is closing fast.
I don't think they could. There's not enough time.
I don't think there is. And look, I said before, if they're 3 for 3 now, I think, at the box office with Pixar. They cannot justify keeping Pixar intact as it is right now, because you can't spend that much money on direct to streaming, especially when they're cutting back on streaming content spend. You can't justify that. And they've got that multi-billion-dollar campus or whatever in the Bay Area, And Disney has to be looking at all this like, we can, get rid of that and we can just merge, just take the good people from, because they fired a bunch of people, take the good people from Pixar, move them over to Walt Disney Animation Studios and call it a day and save a lot of money in the process. They said before the 2020s, not every Pixar movie was a smash hit. Cars 2 and Good Dinosaur didn't meet the expectations, but they still did okay at the box office. So following the massive success of Toy Story 4, Pixar's projects have struggled immensely. And what happened right before Toy Story 4 came out? They get to it. John Lasseter's exit began a decline. Can we say that now?
Yeah, apparently you're allowed to.
Can we say that now? They said, yeah, he was a revelation for Pixar and spearheaded many creative efforts. He was Pixar. Basically, I'm going to be honest. John Lasseter was Pixar. He made the studio a front runner in the animation world. Following Disney's purchase of Pixar, Lasseter was named the chief creative officer for Pixar and Walt Disney Animation Studios. 2 people to
replace him. And those 2 people, all the movies that have come out of late have been disappointing returns.
However, following allegations of sexual misconduct, again, a hand on a knee is what got him ousted. Lasseter stepped down from his position.
Hey, look, I'm not saying if someone feels uncomfortable that they should have to take that. They can say, hey, that just makes me uncomfortable because, you're not. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
After taking some time away and apologizing for his past behavior, Lasseter accepted a job as the head of animation at Skydance.
Everybody had a hissy about it.
Everybody had a hissy.
That went away with him, went away really fast.
Yeah, and then what happened after it died down, all these people that worked with John Lasseter before all came back to work for him. So, like I said, this guy was constantly groping people. I don't think that would have been the case. I think they're like, nah, Disney's not where it's at. Let's go Skydance. I hope to God they make better movies than Luck, but whatever. Lasseter wasn't the sole reason for Pixar's success, but the scandal that arose from his exit and loss of his creative input certainly didn't help the studio.
No, his scandal about him leaving that is not why Pixar's failing. Pixar's failing because he's gone, not because of a scandal around him leaving.
Bullshit. Yeah, again, this is everything that we talked about. They mentioned during...
Okay, so now it's safe to say it. You're welcome.
Hey, media, it's safe to say it now. Because Soul, Luca, and Turning Red were dumped onto Disney+. And they said there's no way of knowing how they would have done at the box office. They said Disney's attitude soured toward animated movies.
Chapek was making comments.
Yeah, our fans and audiences put their kids to bed at night after watching Pinocchio, Dumbo, or Little Mermaid. Then they're probably not going to tune in for another animated movie. They want something for them.
A lot of people like animated movies. I mean, obviously out of touch with current year adults, especially if they hang out on Twitter.
And they talk about the competition. The competition's gotten a lot better. This reminds me of the 70s and 80s when Don Bluth got gone from Disney and he went and kicked Disney's ass. Repeatedly, because the early to mid 80s belonged to Don Bluth. And they could have been Disney movies. American Tail, Secret of NIMH, those could have been Disney movies, but they weren't. And Don Bluth kicked Disney's ass. And it wasn't until The Little Mermaid came out in '89 that Disney, came back, and then Bluth put out, Titan AE and, but also Anastasia. So that's pretty good. But yeah, they were talking about Mario, talking about Puss in Boots, again, DreamWorks, Comcast, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, using Disney's own IP against them, weirdly enough. Now, Disney does get some of the box office take, but not a lot. So yeah, Pixar is great. Something has changed. Lack of returns on Soul, Turning Red, and Elemental doesn't mean they're inherently horrible films. They prove that Pixar still contains some of the magic it displayed during its early years. Unfortunately, something has changed. And as a result, the animation studio has resulted to falling back on some of its former successes. Toy Story 5, Inside Out 2 are in production. Perhaps they will reignite some of Pixar's former spark.
I think they're just unnecessary.
Yeah, they are, but they might backfire. Time will tell. Well, look at Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Oh yeah, well again though. Well, that's just the animation, which they basically got rid of Lasseter and put 2 other people in charge. But Wreck-It Ralph 2, they spent the whole time. It was this all ham-fisted agenda shit, and it just didn't do that well.
They said that they need to look at their competitors and see what they're doing right. If Disney cares enough about animation, I don't know if there are enough people at current year Walt Disney Company that cares about animation to really try to, take the fight to Comcast and be like, we're going to make the best animated movies ever. I don't think they care. I think they're looking at the cost versus the returns, and they're perfectly content to just rehash, better films from that.
But are they going to get people back for Toy Story 5 after they ruined Lightyear? They ruined Buzz Lightyear with Lightyear.
They ruined Toy Story 2. Toy Story 4 was like, it was like you end the story at Toy Story 3, and then it's like, and then I don't know. I think it's a lost cause. I can totally see Disney merging them. I've been saying this for probably 3 or 4 years now, and I just, if it were me and I were looking at the box office returns, I'd be like, why do we have 2 different animation companies and one of them has consistently turned out losers? Let's be honest. We can take people from that division and the other division, merge them together. Maybe we can at least get one damn hit out of the combined unit, because that's what they need. They need to have 1 or 2 really good animated movies every year that make money and generate merchandise sales, whatever. They can't just keep crapping stuff out that's not performing. So I don't know, guys. I just think it's funny. All these years we've been saying this, and now all of a sudden it's totally safe. It's totally safe to say.
I know. It's like everybody else, so we took all the hits, and now they're like, oh, we can say it now with no repercussions whatsoever.
You hate Disney. You must be a Nazi.
You're just terrible people, and that's why you're not allowed to be on the media list anymore because you say bad things.
You said Toy Story Land's too hot. You must be a Nazi.
Pretty much.
And then they put the umbrellas in, like Loki. They always do this, right? Like somebody says the Emperor's not wearing clothes, and then they wait a month or 2 until the backlash dies down. They make fun of that person, then they throw some clothes on the Emperor. And they're like, oh yeah, we fixed it. Whoops. Yeah, but they never admit to it. They never admit that, like, YouTubers were right, and and it just gives memory hold because they can't admit it. They can't admit it because it's like if YouTubers and citizen journalists were right about this and that and this other thing,
that means they didn't do their job.
Yeah, it means one, they didn't do their job. What else are they right about?
Right. And what else are they not? These guys not telling people.
Right. So we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.